Reading through the Bible in 1 year, April 27th, Numbers chapter 4, Psalms 38, Song of Solomon chapter 2, and Hebrews chapter 2. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, Take a census of the descendants of Kohath, from among the sons of Levi, by their families, by their fathers' households, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, all who enter the service to do the work of the tent of meeting. This is the work of the descendants of Kohath in the tent of meeting, concerning the most holy things. When the camp sets out, Aaron and his sons shall go in, and shall take down the veil of the screen, and cover the ark of the testimony with it. And they shall lay a covering of porpoise skin on it, and shall spread over it a cloth of pure blue, and shall insert its poles. Over the table of the bread of the presence, then they shall take a cloth of blue and put it on the dishes and the pans and the sacrificial bowls and the jars of the drink offering, and the continual bread shall be on it. They shall spread over the cloth a scarlet material and cover the same with a covering of porpoise skin, and they shall insert its poles. Again, remember, the porpoise skin, the Hebrew word is uncertain. It's translated here as porpoise skin. In the ESV, they translate it as goat skin. We're not really certain what it is, but remember, they're in the desert, so it's kind of hard to come by porpoise. Then they shall take a blue cloth and cover the lampstand for the light, along with its lamps and its snuffers and its trays and all of its oil vessels by which they serve it. And they shall put it and all its utensils in a covering of porpoise skin, and they shall put it on the carrying bars. Over the golden altar they shall spread a blue cloth and cover it with a covering of porpoise skin, and shall insert its poles. And they shall take all the utensils of service with which they serve this in the sanctuary, and put them in the blue cloth, and cover them with a covering of porpoise skin. And they shall put them on the carrying bars. Then they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth over it. And they shall also put on all its utensils by which they serve in connection with it, the fire pans, the forks, the shovels, the basins, and all the utensils of the altar. And they shall spread a cover of porpoise skin over it, and insert its poles. When Aaron and his sons have finished covering the holy objects and the furnishings of the sanctuary, when the camp is to set out, after that the sons of Kohath shall come to carry them, so that they will not touch the holy objects and die. These are the things in the tent of meeting which the sons of Kohath are to carry. The responsibility of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, is the oil for the light, and the fragrant incense, and the continual grain offering, and the anointing oil. The responsibility of all the tabernacle and all that is in it, with the sanctuary and its furnishings. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, Do not let the tribe of the family of the Kohathites be cut off from among the Levites, but do this to them, that they may live and not die when they approach the most holy objects. Aaron and his sons shall go in and assign each of them to his work and to his load, but they shall not go in to see the holy objects, even for a moment, or they will die. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take a census of these sons of Gershon also, by their fathers' households, by their families, from 30 years old and upward to 50 years old, and you shall number them, all who enter to perform the service to do the work in the tent of meeting. This is the service of the families of the Gershonites, in serving and in carrying. They shall carry the curtains of the tabernacle, and the tent of meeting with its covering, and the covering of porpoise skin that is on it, and the screen for the doorway of the tent of meeting, and the hangings of the court, and the screen for the doorway of the gate of the court, which is around the tabernacle and the altar, and their cords, and all the equipment for their service. All that is to be done, they shall perform. All the service of the sons of the Gershonites, in all their loads and in all their work, shall be performed at the command of Aaron and his sons, and you shall assign to them as their duty all their loads. This is the service of the families of the sons of the Gershonites in the tent of meeting, and their duties shall be under the direction of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest. As for the sons of Merari, You shall number them by their families, by their fathers' households, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old. You shall number them. Everyone who enters the service to do the work of the tent of meeting. Now, this is the duty of their loads for the service of the tent of meeting, the boards of the tabernacle and its bars and its pillars and its sockets, and the pillars around the court and their sockets and their pegs with their cords, with all their equipment, with all their service. You shall assign each man by name the items that he has to carry. This is the service of the families of the sons of Merari, according to all their service in the tent of meeting, under the direction of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest. So Moses and Aaron and the leaders of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kohathites by their families and by their fathers' households, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, everyone who entered the service for the work of the tent of meeting. Their numbered men by their families were 2,750. These are the numbered men of the Kohathite families, everyone who was serving in the tent of meeting, whom Aaron and Moses and Aaron numbered according to the commandment of the Lord through Moses. The numbered men of the sons of the Gershonites by their families and by their fathers' households, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, everyone who entered the service for the work of the tent of meeting. Their numbered men by their families with their fathers' households, or by their fathers' households, were 2,630. These are the numbered men of the families of the sons of Gershon, everyone who was serving in the tent of meeting, whom Moses and Aaron numbered according to the commandment of the Lord. The numbered men of the families of the sons of Merari by their families, by their fathers' households, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, everyone who entered the service for the work in the tent of meeting. Their numbered men by their families were 3,200. These are the numbered men of the families of the sons of Merari, whom Moses and Aaron numbered according to the commandment of the Lord through Moses. All the numbered men of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron and the leaders of Israel numbered by their families and by their fathers' households, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, everyone who could enter to do the work of service and the work of carrying in the tent of meeting. Their numbered men were 8,580. According to the commandment of the Lord, through Moses they were numbered, everyone by his serving or carrying. Thus these were his numbered men, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. And that's all the notes for now. Let's go on to Psalm chapter 38. O Lord, rebuke me not in your wrath, and chasten me not in your burning anger. For your arrows have sunk deep into me, and your hand has pressed down on me. There is no soundness in my flesh because of your indignation. There is no health in my bones because of my sin, for my iniquities are gone over my head. As a heavy burden, they weigh too much for me. My wounds grow and foul and fester because of my folly. I am bent over and greatly bowed down. I go mourning all day long, for my loins are filled with burning, and there is no soundness in my flesh. I am benumbed and badly crushed. I groan because of the agitation of my heart. Lord, all my desire is before you, and my sighing is not hidden from you. My heart throbs, my strength fails me, and the light of my eyes, even that has gone from me. My loved ones and my friends stand aloof from my plague, and my kinsmen stand afar off. Those who seek my life lay snares for me, and those who seek to injure me have threatened destruction. And they devise treachery all day long. But I, like a deaf man, do not hear. And I am like a mute man who does not open his mouth. Yes, I am like a man who does not hear, and in whose mouth are no arguments. For I hope in you, O Lord. You will answer, O Lord my God. For I said, may they not rejoice over me, who, when my foot slips, would magnify themselves against me. For I am ready to fall, and my sorrow is continually before me. For I confess my iniquity. I am full of anxiety because of my sin. But my enemies are vigorous and strong, and many are those who hate me wrongfully, and those who repay evil for good. They oppose me because I follow what is good. Do not forsake me, O Lord. O my God, do not be far from me. Make haste to help me, O Lord, my salvation. And that is all the notes. Let's move on to Song of Solomon, or Song of Songs, chapter 2. It's literally the same thing. It's either Song of Solomon or Song of Songs. It's called both. The bride continues. I am the rose of Sharon, the lily of the valleys. Like a lily among the thorns, so is my darling among the maidens. Like an apple tree among the trees of the forest, she is my beloved among so is my beloved among the young men. In his shade I took great delight and sat down, and his fruit was sweet to my taste. He has brought me to his banquet hall, and his banner over me is love. Sustain me with raisin cakes, refresh me with apples, because I am lovesick. Let his left hand be under my head, and his right hand embrace me. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the gazelles, or by the hinds of the field, that you do not arouse or awaken my love until she pleases. Listen, my beloved. Behold, he is coming, climbing on the mountains, leaping on the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. Behold, he is standing behind our wall. He is looking through the windows. He is peering through the lattice. My beloved responded and said to me, Arise, my darling, my beautiful one, and come along. For behold, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. The flowers have already appeared in the land. The time has arrived for pruning the vines, and the voice of the turtle dove has been heard in our land. The fig tree has ripened its figs, and the vines in blossom have given forth their fragrance. Arise, my daughter, my beautiful one, and come along. O my dove, in the cleft of the rock, in the secret place of the steep pathway, let me see your form, and let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet, and your form is lovely. Catch the foxes for us, the little foxes that are ruining the vineyards, while our vineyards are in blossom. My beloved is mine, and I am his. He pastures his flock among the lilies, until the cool of the day, when the shadows flee away. Turn, my beloved, and be like a gazelle, or a young stag on the mountains of Bether. And that is all the notes. Let's move on to Hebrews chapter 2. Now, the author of Hebrews writes, because again, we don't know who it is. For this reason, we must pay much closer attention to what we have heard, so that we do not drift away from it. For if the word spoken through angels proved unalterable, and every transgression and disobedience received a just penalty, how hard will we escape if we neglect so great a salvation? After it was at the first spoken through the Lord, it was also confirmed to us by those who had heard. God also testifying with them, both by signs and wonders, and by various miracles, and the gifts of the Holy Spirit according to his own will. For he did not subject to angels the world to come, concerning which we are speaking. But one has testified somewhere, saying, this is why we know it's not Paul. Paul would actually say, in here it's found. What is man that you remember him? Or the Son of Man that you are concerned about him? You have made him for a little while lower than the angels, and you have crowned him with glory and honor. You have appointed him over the works of your hands. You have put all things in subjection under his feet. For in subjecting all things to him, he left nothing that is not subject to him. But now we do not yet see all things subjected to him. That's to come. But we do see him who was made for a little while lower than the angels, namely Jesus, because of the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, so that by the grace of God he might taste death for everyone. For it was fitting for him, for whom are all things, and through whom are all things, in bringing many sons to glory, to perfect the author of their salvation through sufferings. For both he who sanctifies and those who are sanctified are all from one Father, for which reason he is not ashamed to call them brethren, saying, I will proclaim your name to my brethren. In the midst of the congregation, I will sing your praise. And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children whom God has given me. Therefore, since the children share in flesh and blood, he himself likewise also partook of the same, that through death he might render powerless him who had the power of death, that is, the devil. It might free those who, through fear of death, were subject to slavery all their lives. For assuredly he does not give help to angels, but gives help to the descendants of Abraham. Therefore, he had to be made like his brethren in all things, so that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make a propitiation, or a full and final payment, for the sins of the people. For since he himself was tempted in that which he suffered, he is able to come to the aid of those who are tempted. Make sure I get all the notes in here for you. And we have them. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow. Behold the word of the Lord.